Hi, hello. Welcome to the sixth session on Unix shell scripting. That is scripting exclusively for DBS. We have come to the third chapter, and this session will completely deal about GNU. GNU is nothing but a form of editing something. So that's the reason in this chapter we have two things that we are going to cover. One is first part of this particular chapter would be this session, and the next part of this chapter that is about the awk that we will be covering in the next session. So basically, we are going to learn in this session everything about interactive editing and non-interactive editing using the most popular command called sed. So SED. SED is basically a short form of stream editor. So that means stream editor or sed is something which will perform a basic transformation. Okay, and it will only read from a file. It doesn't basically modify anything inside the file. It goes and basically reads something inside the file, and the result is something that you wanted. There are many things that you can do. I mean, not just reading something from a file. Sed can perform filtering. Earlier to this, we have also did the same filtering and all using grep. So we clearly understood with many examples that grep is the command which is used exclusively to go and filter something out of a file, isn't it? So we used grep to actually filter a word from a complete file, to actually check all the lines which are starting with the word or a frame or an expression that you wanted to search, or search for a word or a frame which is ending for each and every line in that file. So something like this we have done in the last session, that is for grep. So very similar to that, we also have the sed editor, but sed has got a lot of additional features than grep. So why I am actually stressing this point is, throughout the scripting, whatever we are going to deal now, we will be dealing with multiple commands, but whenever you start writing a script on your own, might be you're developing your own tool, for your requirement you might be thinking, or you might feel that for this particular requirement sed might be better suitable, and the next programmer or the next scripting executive or your core DBA or the core DBA might think that for the same requirement grep will work fine. So definitely you are not wrong, or your core DBA is not wrong. So to do things, it is possible to be done with many different ways. Few guys might use VI, but it is only interactive editing. That means somebody should be there to go and edit something interactively with human interface. Only then VI editor works. But inside a script, searching something and editing it, replacing it, something very difficult which can be easily done with the help of sed. And also SED, it is not SAID. So also saying this, you will also find the other set of commands which might be replacing this functionality as well. As I said, for the same requirement, sed will also work, as well as awk will work, as well as your grep might also work. But there is no other, there is no thumb rule saying that for a requirement only sed has to be used. But you will recognize whenever you are trying to write something like that, if you feel that your requirement is not getting possible with the grep options, definitely you will lean towards finding out that particular requirement, whether it will be completed with the help of sed, or if the sed is also not functional for you, then you will again lean towards awk. That's the reason in this course also the first thing that we have learned is grep, so that you know the basics or in filtering what are the available options, etc. And then the next intention is to explain you everything about sed, and the next session will completely explain you about awk. So having said this, yes, let me read out these things. So it is as simple, it's a simple English, so you understand it very better. So a stream editor, that is nothing but sed, is used to perform basic transformations on text read from a file or a pipe. That means even you can give the output of a pipe as an input to the sed command as well, and it will do a basic transformations on the text that it reads from it. The result is sent to a standard output. That means you will see that on the screen. The syntax for set command has no output file specification. So set command has not got any output file specification, but instead, because if you wanted to go and search from a file, there is only input file specification. That means you have to give the input and you have to say what to do. It will do. The output is always on the standard output on the screen. That's the reason we say that it's an interactive editing. So the editor does not modify the original input. That means whenever you give a file as an input, it doesn't literally go and modify the content which is there inside the file, but instead it will read the content of the file, it will do the modifications as per your requirement, and the result is shown on the screen. That's it. But do not think that the same thing has been already modified inside the file. No, it only reads it, modifies it, and displays it on the screen for you. That's it. So what distinguishes Sed from other editors is, such as VI and Ed, is its ability to filter text that it gets from a pipeline feed as well. So that means VI editor and Ed, these are the two things that cannot basically go and do the modifications, with the without the interaction or with piping. That means if you give the output from one command and you wanted to give it as an input to VI editor, it is not possible because it's an interactive first point, but it cannot carry that output of the earlier command as an input to the VI editor. And you do not need to interact with the editor while it's running. That's why Sed is sometimes called a batch editor. That means you give a command, that's it. You don't need to worry about what is it running at the background. Just like VI editor, if you open, you will be inside the editor where you will have to start clicking on I for insert, escape colon W for save, escape colon WQ for save and quit, and escape DD is to delete a line, something like this. It is purely interactive. You will have to go into the editor to do all those things, but Sed you don't need to do. You just give a command, it will run a batch process at the background, it will complete the action for you, and then it will come back with the result. That's it, as simple as that. So this feature allows use of editing commands in scripts because it runs as a batch process. Because there is no interaction required, basically you don't need to be inside the editor. It is one of the most widely used command in the scripting languages, especially in the shell script, and it is greatly easy repetitive editing task. So if you have a repetition of task, it is very simple to edit and reuse it again and again. So what are the set commands? As you see here, these are the set of commands which are most popular. It doesn't mean that these are only these commands which are possible with Sed. But please remember, you can use man followed by a command. Basically, if you are already having a hands-on on Unix platforms to know in detail about each and every command and the further options in it, I'm sure you must be knowing that, you just type man followed by the command name. It will give you the complete functionality of that particular, command. So the same thing is with Sed. Whatever I'm giving you in this table, it doesn't mean that only these commands are accepted in Sed. It is only the most widely used options that are used along with the Sed command. So A followed by / will help you to append text below the current line, and C followed by / will help you to change text in the current line. D will delete a text whatever you wanted to search. If you say D, it will delete that text. I followed by / will insert text above the current line, and P will print the text as it is. R to read a file. S is to search and replace the text whatever you wanted. If you want to search for something and replace it with another context or a expression, you can do that. W is to write it to a file. So we will see all of these, how are they working, basically with the help of the examples that I am coming up with. So if you say, what are the other options? These are the commands that are possible to pass inside the Sed command. But now as you see on the screen, if you say -e and then script name, it will add the commands in script to set of commands to be run while processing the input. If you say -f, it will add the commands containing script file to set the commands to run while the processing the -n will run in the silent mode. Basically this is what we prefer the most because we don't want that to be more interactive. -v will print version information of the Sed and then it will exit. Now having understanding the basics of this, all these tabular commands whatever we discussed, definitely it will not make so much of sense to you. But once you start executing it, once you start finding how this sed is basically modifying something for you and giving you something on the screen, then you would definitely understand the functionality of these commands. So let me start with one. So basically I'll try to create a file.txt, and this will be the file that I'll be using. So from now for this sed or interactive, interactive and non-interactive through the complete session, so that you feel comfortable for what we are doing. And just for your information, I wanted to be used, a wrong spelling mistake or a wrong, spell for errors. So we know that error spelling is ERRORS, but still I just used ERORS, which I'll be using later to identify something for, through this course. So first let me create this file. That means I'll have to connect to my server. So let me do that first. So this is my database server and I'll be redirecting myself to the directory called scripting. This is where I have all the files. So I'll be creating this file called file.txt and the content as I want it to be. And it is only, I am giving only some example contents, but please remember that you can have your own set of contents as well. It's only for the exercise I'm doing this. So just say wquit, and now just cat it. I'm catting it for your logging purposes, so you can do that now. Yeah, this is the line. And now let us come back. So for example, let us use sed for simply to search a pattern. What is p here? As I said above, p is the command to print the text. That means after it searches for something, I'm asking it to print it. Print it will actually give the output as a standard output on your screen itself. So as you see, what is it I'm trying to ask? Let me explain you the syntax of it. When you say sed /, you are asking it to search for something, and then -p, you are asking it to print it on the screen. Now if you say Control C here, then do this here, see what is that you are seeing on the screen? Every time when it found errors, ERRORS, you are seeing the output on the screen. But see, there is a mistake or there is a problem here. What is it doing? With this command, it is basically going and reading the first line, and that first line, reading the first line is also the part of the output. But this line doesn't have the word called errors, right? And it went and searched for the second line. That is what it has shown you on the screen. And the second line has got the word called errors. So that's the reason you have the output here as the third line. Again, it went and searched the fourth line. Even when it was reading the fourth line, you have the output. And after searching for the word called errors in the third line, you have the output also here. That means you are getting unnecessary output as well with this command. That's the reason sed -n will only give you the result which is true in the condition that you are giving. So now if you see the output, it is only giving you the list of lines with the word called errors in it. That's it. It is not giving the list of lines where it goes and reads it. But in the earlier command, every time when it reads a line, it will show that also in the output. And also if the search condition is true, then it will repeat the same line again. So that's the reason you will always often see sed followed by -n, not without -n. Now if you go back to your scripts, if you have any in your project, you will better now mean or understand why -n is used. Having said that, let us come back. So how do we exclude the lines containing a pattern? As we seen, earlier, like, in the grep, if you want to exclude the search, we basically gave -v. Grep -v will search everything without that expression, isn't it? The same thing here. How do you basically said to exclude a pattern? So just say this. It would give nothing because I used -n. Because it's an inverse one, I should not use -n. Instead, just say this one. And please find one more thing. I'm using D here, not P. If you use P, definitely, -n is required because you are trying to print something on the screen. You want to avoid unnecessary printing. But here, because I'm using D, please do not use -n. So as you see on the screen, sed followed by this one will basically delete the rows in the output. That's it. It doesn't mean that it is deleting the rows in this file. The content in the file is same as it is, as I said you earlier. So it is only deleting the lines which has got the word called errors. That's the reason you will find only 3 lines. Do not think that it is the same. This is ERRORS. So all the lines with the word called errors are not there as a part of the output. So D is what? The meaning. So this is what I wanted to show you here. D is to delete text. So it has done that. And next exercise. If you have the range of lines to be printed, that means if you want to print from second line to fourth line, okay, if you want to print the, yes, if you want to remove the lines from second to fourth, then yes, you can use sed like this. So now let me copy it. If it is only delete, and if you want to print it instead of D, you have to use P. So let me also show you that. But see, it is only printing second line to fourth line. That's it. And if you want to print it, that's it, use P. And now you see the output. You will see again second line to fourth line, but it is accessing each and every line. So whenever you are trying to print something, give -n, you will get the appropriate output. Because while reading something, it will go and it will also print the lines, each and every line that it reads. Now you see the output here is to print first 4 lines, and the output this one is to delete second, third, fourth. This is to include second, third, fourth. This is to delete second, third, fourth. That's the reason these two outputs are mutually exclusive. Alright. Now if you want to print the lines from the third line until the end. So if you want until the end, we have to use $. Now you please recollect, the $, is the same thing that you used in grep as well. Where if you use $ followed by expression, it will search for that expression at the last or the end of each and every line. Even the same thing is applicable here. If you want to delete everything from the third line until the end of the file, you just say this one. So only first 2 lines are printed. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever lines were there, everything got deleted in the output. Please remember again, I'm repeating it. These lines are not deleted in this file. The content in the file is still the same without any modifications. That's the beauty of sed. Sed doesn't basically do anything into this file. It will read the content and then it will operate and give you the output. That's it. Alright. So now come back. Now if you wanted to search for a pattern and then replace that pattern, with a different expression, this is how you have to do. Because I used P here, again, I am using -n. And see here, if you wanted to search for a pattern called a text, and if you want to replace that with this, how do you do? But before that, let me show you where is the word or an expression called a text. So file.txt, if you see here, a text is only here. This is the only pattern which is there with this a text in this complete file. Now if you want to search for this expression and then if you want to replace it with something like this, how do you do? Is what this command will show you. So let me copy this and then let me paste it here. Now if you see here, a text, whatever you see, where is it? Here. I'm very sorry to actually give you the wrong information just a few minutes back. This command is not to search for something and to replace for something. This command is to print the output from this expression until it finds the second expression. So what does it mean? In this line, it has found a text as an expression. So it starts printing from this line and it will keep printing all the lines until it finds the another expression called this. So this is available in this line. So it started printing from this line and it has ended printing at this line. That's what this command says. And even the same I have written here, but I have mistakenly said you differently. Sorry for that. So this command is to print from one pattern until the next pattern in a file is found. That's what it does. So whatever I said now, that is finding something and replacing it with something, that's what I have in the next coming, activity set. So let's see here, what is that it is saying? If you want to find for a pattern and if you want to replace that pattern with something else, this is the command that you have to fire. So let me copy this and show you. So what did that? See, wherever it found errors earlier, see here, it was just errors earlier, ERRORS, but now it is replaced with ERROS. But if you find one difference here, as you see, in this line, line number 4, there were two ERORS, here and here. So in this line, there are two false words. That means wrong words. If you observe carefully, only one false word has been replaced, but not the second one. But the second one is still the same old one. That means the false word. That means if you just say Z-S followed by what has to be searched and what has to be replaced in a file, it will only go and search and replace the word for the first occurrence in that line. If there are multiple words of those occurrences, it will try to go and, it will just ignore it. What if you wanted to go and, if you wanted Z to go and replace each and every character and each and every expression, which is this one? So how do you do? That's the next one. You have to use G at the end. Now if you use G, what happens? See, even this one, ERORS will also be corrected. See here, this is corrected and also this is corrected. So that's the reason you would be finding possibly in your projects or in any scripts, if somebody uses Z and if they wanted to search for some expression and if you wanted to replace with another expression, they would basically use G. G will basically tell them or tell Z to go and replace all the occurrences that it finds throughout the file. But if you don't say G at the end, it will only replace the first occurrences in each and every line. That's how it works. So let us go ahead now again. Now, as in grep, we know that cap is to say beginning of the line and dollar is to say end of the line. Now the beauty is here. In case if you want to insert a string at the beginning of every line, this is how you do. That's the reason we have cap. So if you see, yes is very much important, as search S and / is what you have to use. Now what is that you are trying to say? Cap. And whenever you use cap and / you are trying to say that you replace every line with greater than symbol. That's it, you end it. So every line in the file is now appended with the greater than symbol. So this particular command is divided in this fashion. So this is one part and this is another part and this is what it has to replace with, and this is the end of that expression. So you are telling to search, but don't need to search anything. This is to add something to each and every beginning of the line, and what has to be added, that's it, nothing else to do. This is how set command works. Now very similarly, if you have some character sets that has to be appended to the end of each and every line, instead of cap, you have to use dollar. So as you see on the screen, there is nothing very much tricky. When you understood the above, it is the same. See here, instead of cap, you have to use dollar. So very similarly, you see EOL appended at end of each and every line. So now again, if you want to interpret this command, you have to say set is the command, that's fine, and this is to search for something, but there is nothing to search. For each and every end of the line, you have to add EOL, and that's it. That is where the command ends. So this is how you interpret a set command. Why am I stressing so much in interpreting it, dividing it into parts, is when you keep gaining experience in writing scripts, you might be finding the most complex set in the web, and you must be writing most complex set command yourself also. At that point of time, you will feel very comfortable when I divided it like this. Else, you would be very much clumsy to understand what is this S/, I use dollar, again what is this slash, and what is this slash for. Please remember, this part of the script or this part of the command and this part of the command is common, or this / might also include G and P, however what you saw earlier, that might include, but whatever you write between these two things, this is what the main part that you have to tell the set to do. So the syntax, following the syntax in set is very, very important, because when you see a very complex set coming up, you will find very much difficulty to understand it. That's the reason I'm stressing it, so that you feel comfortable further. Now, if you want to remove the lines, yes, this is what we have done already, but just giving you as something, but it is not required. So because it is repeated, I'm just removing it because it doesn't make any sense for us at this moment. Alright, this is all about interactive editing. So as we come back, so it is something we interactively edited something with the help of sed. So in the sed, throughout this we have understood how to search something, how to print something, how do we add something to the beginning of the line, how do we add something to the end of the line, and how do we search for something and replace for something, etc., etc. This is what we have been looking at through the sed in the interactive editing. Now coming to the second part of this chapter or the last part of this session, it is non-interactive editing. So when I say non-interactive editing, when sed will only read commands from a file, that's it, isn't it? So in case if you want to be sed commands to be put in a file and executed using -f option, what does this means? Let me show you now what does it mean. As we have been using sed, for example, I have used sed like this. Okay, I have seen some output on the screen, but the original file is as it is. There is no difference, isn't it? So original file has got no difference. The difference is only in the output that you see on the screen. Now do the same thing, but now just include -f and then followed by this one. See, okay. Now as you see on the screen, you say -f and command file.txt and -f. This is the wrong syntax, but you have to use -f with a file. But what is that sed is expecting is whenever you pass the parameter called -f, it will be expecting that this file has got set of sed commands to be executed. So I don't have set commands to be executed here. Instead, I have got multiple lines of data inside this file. So what is it I'm trying to say is, if you have a file with set of sed commands, and if you wanted to execute all of them one by one using sed, you have to just say sed -f and the file name where you have group of sed commands to be executed. And this particular file should not have these things. No trailing white spaces exist at the end of lines. No quotes to be used. When entering text to add or replace, all except the last line ended in the /. And then awk programming should not be included in that file. If you have a set of commands to be executed non-interactively, you can do that with the help of writing something inside a file and execute it using sed and passing the option called -f. But there is another way of non-interacting itself. In case if you want to replace everything in the same file. For example, we know that this file has got some error or wrong data in it. What is it? It has got errors. If you want to correct it, to the same file, how do you do? Using sed, definitely you can search and replace it with the correct expression. That's true. But it will be only showing you that on the screen. But in case if you want to replace the same thing to the original file, how do you do with the help sed? That's what we are trying to see that here. See here, instead of just let me come back. So with this, you are searching for something and you are replacing it. That's good. Yes, everything, each and every wrong expression has been replaced with the correct expression. Now in case if you want to replace this into the same file, the only way is put that output, redirect that output to temp.txt, and now what is that you have to do is move this temp.txt to file.txt. This is the two-step process if you want to use sed to search for something, replace something onto the original file. This is the only way that you can do it. And this is the best way, because if you go to each and every other bash platforms, there are other options also inside where it can directly act on top of a file. But this is this process which will work on any bash, con, C shell, any shell that you work. So that's the reason I'm telling you the best possible solution. But there are also solutions that there is an option inside this single quotes itself where it will go and modify the content in the original file. I'm not telling you what it is. So this is generically which follows. Now if you say file.txt, it has got the corrected data only. See, there is no wrong expression at all. All the expressions are corrected with this particular process. So in a non-interactive way of writing scripts, in case if you had to search for something and replace for something in the scripting, and it has to be done in the original file, definitely this is the only process that you can make habituated to. Alright, so having said this, we are done with interactive and non-interactive editing. Hope you will basically perform all these exercises and then understand this much better, because SED is something that we will be using going forward whenever we see something coming up through the way of scripting a tool. So we might be getting up some requirement and where we will be going and using SED there. And that's the reason, make sure every commands whatever we are learning in these sessions, just execute them yourself and feel comfortable of using them. Because going forward when we develop a tool, we might be writing most complex SED also. But when I write that most complex SED, if you have these basics very strong, it will be very easy for you to understand at that point. So that's it. In the next session, we are going to cover completely about awk programming. So awk is also very similar to SED. It is also used to search something in a file, but the way that awk works is completely different from the way, SED works or something else works. So we are going to also discuss that in detail. What is the difference and where is awk, or where does the awk will basically fit in you for the requirements. Alright, thank you then.